What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here for PackersNews.com, live on Facebook, late Friday afternoon / early evening on Friday, heading into the weekend. Just thought I'd jump on here real quick and see if anyone had any questions, thoughts, things that were on their minds about the green and gold up there in Green Bay, Wisconsin, as I ready to go to upstate New York for the weekend. Like I said, just thought I'd jump on. Not a whole lot happening, not a whole lot of news this week, but always good to see what's on the minds and check the pulse of Packer Nation. That's what I thought I'd do. One thing that's going on the timeline as I jump on here is more argument about Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, can we just put this thing to bed? I mean, my goodness. Tom Brady has clearly had better support throughout his career, but he's also proven that he is a fantastic quarterback. Why can't that just be like the truth and everyone just shuts up about it? North Hudson, what's up? It's off season. Go home, Nags. I am home. This is my home. That's a picture of my daughter from like 15 years ago. Time flies. Lyle, what's up, man? Jeff, what's up? Thanks for joining us, man. Gary, yo. How are you? San Antonio, Texas, checking in. What's up, Jonathan? How are you? Thanks for joining us. Somebody asking about Rodgers' contract. $40 million a year, that might be a bit much, but I think he'll approach, you know, what did Jimmy G just got? 27.5, I think it was, 30, around there. I think Rodgers will hit above 30 per year, probably. What's good, Tony? Joan, hello. Mark, hello. How are you? Orlando checking in. What's up, Matthew? Thanks for saying hi. Julie, finally caught alive. Yeah, here it is. It's exciting. Like, the problem is like, it's live, but there's not really any news driving it, so I'm just kind of just chilling, talking to my phone. Keith, hello. Sam Bradford. Mike, that's an interesting name for a potential backup quarterback. I mean, the man's made his money. There's no doubt about that. So it's not like he needs to land a big payday. I do think he's the type of QB that would be looking for a chance to compete for a starting job. Now, maybe he finds that, maybe he doesn't. But that's the kind of guy I would think they would have interest in to be a backup to Rodgers. But I don't doubt he's going to try and find a spot where he can compete for a starting gig. Now, maybe that doesn't materialize, and then maybe the Packers make a call. But, yeah, I think they would have interest. But I'd be surprised if Green Bay was up near his first choice. Tina, thank you for saying so. It's very nice of you. Ready to watch the Brewers, right? Hey, I heard that, man. This is the most excited I've been about the Brewers in a long time. I grew up loving the Brewers. I remember when they lost in the World Series. My dad used to listen to Bob Uecker every single day in the summer. That was kind of the voice of my youth. And I've really kind of reconnected to the team because of the MLB at-bat app, which if you don't live in Wisconsin and you want to follow along with the Brewers, I can't recommend it enough. It's pretty fantastic. Tight end in the third round, Johnny? Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's all about how the board falls, but I definitely think they have to look at tight ends in this draft. I don't think there's any question there. Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo got overpaid? Just 7 weeks of tape? Well, not really true. You got to remember they have his tape from his time in New England as well. But like I said on Twitter, you know, Aaron Rodgers got his first contract extension, his first major deal after only 7 starts. You know, if you know it's your guy, lock him up. And the other thing is in 2 years, his deal is going to look like a bargain. And essentially, the numbers came out today, and it is a 2-year deal, essentially. It's 2 years, and then they'll see where they're at. But, yeah, no, I don't. I know the headlines are all, you know, he's the highest paid player ever, but that's just the going rate of quarterback contracts these days. You know, and pretty soon Drew Brees will eclipse that, and then Matt Ryan will eclipse that. You know, this is the way it goes. And then Aaron Rodgers will eclipse it all. And then he'll be the highest paid player in the history of the league until the next quarterback gets paid. It's just how it is. Could you see Gutekunst trading up in the draft? Yeah, I could. The problem is we have no track record to work with. So I can't really opine on how truly aggressive he's going to be either in free agency or the draft. But I think he'll be open to it. And if there's a player he absolutely loves and he feels he has to have, yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. 14th pick and a supplemental for Beckham. Whew. Man, someone started early today. Jay Cutler is the backup QB. Tony, there are worse things that the Packers could do there. And it would be like, back in the day when they had Jim McMahon backing up Brett Favre. Why not, right? I mean, my personal opinion, I think he'd be better than Hundley. So, I mean, we'll see if he wants to play another year. I tend to think he'll go back to broadcasting now, but we'll see. Chances an extension for Rodgers gets done this year, very good. I think you'll probably see something prior to camp. Now, that's not set in stone. I do think if it drags on past that point, they'll probably wait till the next offseason. But I do think signs point to them trying to get it done this offseason, and most likely that happens right before camp starts. Can you see Rodgers getting close to $200 million? Yeah, probably not quite there, but yeah, if he approaches that, that wouldn't surprise me. And, a lot of those numbers are just never going to be seen. Maybe Garoppolo ends up seeing all 5 years of that deal, but more likely than not, when they get to the fourth or fifth year, they'll probably renegotiate again. As for Rodgers, yeah, he could approach that number, but a lot depends on, it will be a contract number, and I'm sure that his agent will tout it, but most of the money that really matters is what's guaranteed and what he's paid, those first 2 years. You guys and your crazy trade scenarios. Romo for backup QB. Douglas, I would have thought if they were going to do that, they would have done it this year when Rodgers went down. But, that was not the way they were going to go. $97.5 million guaranteed for Rodgers. I doubt it. Maybe a little below that, but it'll be close. I said a couple weeks ago, $100 million guaranteed isn't out of the question, so it's possible. Melissa, do I think Bulaga will be cut? I think it's a good possibility. It all depends on what they have medically and what they feel they can carry salary cap-wise to how much they expect to get out of him going forward. I would not be surprised at all if he was a cap cut. You think Cap will be an option as a backup QB like Zach Cruz wrote? I think he should be. And I think it'll be very interesting to see who in the NFL gives him a shot, if anyone. I highly doubt it'll be the Packers. I highly doubt Mark Murphy would sign off on that. But yeah, it's a possibility. I think they should. I thought they should have last summer, and I think they should this summer. But I don't really see the Packers going for it. News buzzing around a Richard Sherman trade? Only on this here chat, Matthew. I've gotten a lot of questions about it the last couple days, but I haven't heard anything. I've checked in on it and haven't heard anything from either side, including inside 1265 Lombardi. So, I don't know. Maybe there's something to it, but I haven't heard anything. Davenport is only moving up in mocks because of media hype. Well, that's possible, although he was kind of getting mocked, upper first round right when they first started doing mock drafts. And just remember, there's a long way to go, and the draft industrial complex is very real and very alive. I hear what you're saying about draft hype, and I will say I think the media likes him a little bit more than NFL teams do. I've said that here before, but that's from the personnel people I've spoken to, both in Green Bay and other places. Some people do like him and think he's very much worth a first-round pick, but there's other people who definitely don't see a first-day guy. So take that as you will. Would you try to sign Terrell Pryor? Yeah, I like Pryor. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to... I'm not even sure he's coming available for sure. But, yeah, I think he could help the Packers. Earbud at work. Oh, Sherry. Okay, we'll keep it down. Mel Kiper or Mike Mayock? Oh, Mike Mayock, all the way. No doubt. Malcolm Butler to Green Bay, possible. Joshua, we talked about that earlier this week. I think it's a possibility. I think they'll look at him, but I don't expect them to get in any kind of bidding war for him, which is, I think, what will probably materialize around him. I think it could help them, but I only think they would do that at their number. I don't see that happening. Do you think cornerback has still trouble for the Pack? Yeah, I mean, they do need one more perimeter player on the outside, at cornerback. They need somebody to kind of match with King opposite. They need to upgrade from Devon House. I think Demarius Randall kind of found his role as a slot corner there throughout much of the second half of the season, although he did show he can bump outside still. But I do think today's NFL, you're in nickel so much. You have three corners are basically starters, so you need one more quality corner. And right now, I just don't think the Packers can realistically go into 2018 expecting guys like Lindsey Pipkins or Donatello Brown to answer the call there opposite Kevin King. So yes, I do think either free agency or the draft, or perhaps both, are avenues the Packers will use to upgrade there. Beard. What? I trimmed my beard. It's not like homeless scruffy anymore. What position do we go after in the first round? Sarah, I would suspect a pass rusher of some kind, maybe a defensive lineman. I think a wide receiver is a dark horse possibility. And I'll tell you what, it wouldn't shock me if one of the quarterbacks fell and Gutekunst took a QB. I mean, that would be crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me. Only because, Aaron Rodgers is the age Brett Favre was when they drafted Aaron Rodgers. Peppers for his last year before he retires. Oh, Peppers clearly wanted to go back to North Carolina. That's why I don't think the Packers made much of an effort to keep him last year because he let it be known that he wanted to get back to Carolina. So I think he's where he wants to be. Harold Landry or Davenport? Ooh, that's a good question, Justin. I would probably say Harold Landry myself. I know there's going to be lots of varying opinions, but I really like Landry, and funny enough, I had someone message me on Facebook yesterday, I think it was, asking why Landry hasn't been mocked to the Packers more, and I think that will happen probably after the Combine. We've got such a long way to go until the draft that I think you'll see lots of different names circulating around that 14th pick. But yeah, I think Landry definitely is a possibility. If a good quarterback falls, do we trade for more picks? Johnny, that's a possibility. I suspect, every draft kind of guru / personnel person I've spoken to really expects, that top 10, they're going to pick those quarterbacks. Now, if one of those guys does happen to fall and someone down below the Packers really desperately wants to get up and get the quarterback, then yeah, it could absolutely happen. But I don't see that happening. But again, every year the draft comes and stuff we don't see happening ends up happening. So stay tuned. Sign Bobby Hart. No, Alex, the idea is to get better. What do you think about Iowa cornerback Josh Jackson? Sarah, I think he's an excellent cover corner. I need to watch more tape, but from what I've seen, clearly one of the better corners in the draft. Roquan Smith at 14. Justin, I like that idea. I'm not so sure how the Packers will view him, and how Gutekunst will view the inside linebacker spot. Obviously, we know how much Ted devalued it throughout the years. I don't know if Gutekunst is going to operate in a similar fashion, but he's definitely a name to watch, no doubt about it. Paul's going to leave us with Rodgers wins MVP, Mike McCarthy wins Coach of the Year, and the Packers win 2019 Super Bowl. What better way to leave it as we head into the weekend? There you go. You heard it from Paul. Thanks a lot, everyone. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to your question, but I'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, make sure you're checking PackersNews.com. We got a boatload of content for you. Always, throughout the year, anything having to do with the Packers, you need to know. You need to be at PackersNews.com to find out. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.